Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. And nice to have you on with us. We appreciate it very much. And we'll just see as you get your notifications here. And yeah, I'm on the road again. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Got some folks coming on. And I wish I could see the names. Okay. And I'll go through the scroll. I wasn't able to yesterday because I was on the road, but I'll go through after. Leave me your name if I haven't said hello in the last week or so. Because we really like to do that. You know, I miss doing that roll call. I think I see so many of your names. And I know many of you have been asking about Olga. And Kevin went to see her out in New Brunswick there. And Olga, you got a huge following because of your friends on Martin Clinic private Facebook group, okay? So we're praying for you, Olga, and all the struggles that she's been through with her health. Anyways, you guys, if you have any special type of things that you want me to announce or whatever, let me know. Okay, and if I got time, I'm going to do it on our program because we are a family, and I thank you guys for coming on. Much appreciated, and we'll probably do a little bit of a shorter version. I got a couple of things I want. Let me touch on, because yesterday somebody asked me after the program, we talked about Cancer's Perfect Storm yesterday and the 3 I's, okay? Insulin. Guys, do I ever talk about anything else but insulin? Like, it's crazy. I know. But remember, I'm a food doctor. So insulin is key, man. It's key. And insulin is a growth hormone. Insulin drives. Insulin's on your side. It'll save your life. But it's a double-edged sword. When you use it way too much, all those spikes in blood sugar create a problem called insulin resistance. That's at your cellular level, and that creates a cascade of problems, okay? So insulin, immune system, huge in cancer. T cells, natural killer cells. You got 2 types of cells that are on guard. Your Navy SEALs, your T cells. Your natural killer cells, they're looking for cancer. And we fight that every day. Okay? And you know what I love? Every day is a new day, too. You know, you blew it yesterday in food. Start over again. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't quit. I always used to tell my patients, I'm giving you a plan to succeed, not to fail. Like, failure, we don't use that in our vocabulary because we say, look, you can always start over. Your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. It is unbelievable in its capacity to regenerate. Never give up on that. You had a bad day. You had ice cream, or it was your birthday, or whatever. Guys, don't give up. Start again. Okay? Don't give up. I've seen people even in the 30-day reset where they blew it for a meal. And I said, well, don't give up on that. Start again. You don't have to do 30 full days. Over, if you're at the 15th day, get back on track and keep her going. Guys, again, this is a plan. This is lifestyle. I was mentioning this to someone in the last few days. Look, what I'm trying to do is develop habits. You know, my name is Tony and I'm a carboholic. Okay, let's get new habits. And I'll tell you guys, because of my father being a diabetic, and I watched him form habits and become a very, very disciplined person. Food, exercise, it was incredible. I watched my dad turn his life around. And, I was inspired by that. And when I was in school and studying nutrition, man, I had my dad right in front of me, that image of him changing his diet, getting off sugars. Wasn't easy. Wasn't easy to do that, but it's more than doable, okay? More than doable. Now, okay, the other one, okay, so you got insulin, you got your immune system, take care of that. Is there anything better for your immune system than vitamin D? No, there's nothing better. Now, sugar destroys your immune system. It'll put your T cells to sleep. They've shown that. A teaspoon of sugar, okay, a tablespoon of sugar will put your T cells to sleep for an hour. They go for a siesta. Guys, this has been studied, so it's really important. Again, I hate to be negative on sugar, but I'm negative on sugar. It's just the science is overwhelming. I'll bring you a few other things this morning, okay? And inflammation is the third I. Inflammation, one of the major drivers is insulin resistance. The other major driver is free radical damage, oxidation, and glycation. And the other one is leaky gut. Okay, so what do? Cut out sugar. Cut out sugar as much as possible, and anything that turns to sugar rapidly. Okay? Because you're just feeding cancer. Secondly, fix gut dysbiosis. Don't feed the bears, like yeast and fungus. Once that gets into the bloodstream, and that comes in through a process of what we call leaky gut, try and cut that down and fix it. Fix the gut. And, that's why I'm so big on probiotics. Fix the gut. And I love those L-glutamine and bone broth and that. It knits, it builds that barrier again between your gut and your blood. You want your blood to be pristine. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Keep your blood clean, pristine. Keep your liver empty. It'll keep your blood cleaned. It filters your blood. Every little bit of blood that comes through your gut has got to go through your liver. Keep your liver clean. And so, and you've seen the studies on DHA and tumors. You've seen them. Unbelievable. How that isn't mainstream, it's beyond, well, I know why, but it still bothers me that that's not mainstream. Tumors being destroyed by DHA, omega-3, okay? And get in the sun, folks. I tell you, there's nothing better than the sun. And vitamin D when you can't get in the sun. And a lot of people need to do both. They need to get in the sun and take vitamin D, okay? And if you can, get your vitamin D levels checked. That is a very, very, it should be so routine, but don't hold your breath, guys. I hate to be negative, but don't hold your breath on vitamin D testing being, part of metabolic testing. It should be, but doctors still today, they still are negative because they don't know enough about vitamin D. Okay, let me talk about this, okay, because this sort of goes in with what I'm saying. Sugar is an anti-nutrient. What do I mean by that? Okay? When you have, especially like a sugary drink, sugar, or you're having a whole wheat, or you're having a bad breakfast. A bad breakfast is orange juice, pancakes, muffins, a bagel, cereal, oatmeal. Those are bad. Why? They turn to sugar rapidly and they spike your blood sugar. Okay? Now, you know what happens inside at the cellular level? Insulin has a job to do. If you insist, when I say you, I don't mean you. I mean others. When others insist on having a bad breakfast or whatever, their sugar spikes, well, insulin has a job to do, has no choice but to take that sugar and get it out of the blood. It cannot stay. Sugar, when it's in your blood, is in a no parking zone. It can't stay there. Why? It's destructive. Your body knows that. So let's say you see somebody, you're out, I'm at an hotel, okay? And this morning, I watch people, okay? I'm having coffee. They're having orange juice. I feel like telling them, look, you know what's happening? You're making something metabolically a catastrophe. What? Well, listen, you take orange juice. You might as well have a soda. Why didn't you order a Pepsi? What? Well, orange juice and a Pepsi's got about the same amount of sugar in it. Okay? God wanted you to eat an orange and not drink it. Okay? Don't drink it. Okay? You want to have a grape? Eat it. Don't drink it. Never drink grape juice. Never drink apple juice. Never drink orange juice. Just don't drink that stuff because you're not meant to drink it. You were meant to eat it. Anyway, what happens, sugar is now in your bloodstream, let's say 10, 15 teaspoons. Your blood sugar spikes, but insulin comes to the rescue. Insulin is on your side. It says, sugar, you can't park in the bloodstream. Why? Because it's a no parking zone. Why? Because sugar is destructive to blood vessels. It don't take long. Sugar destroys the little capillaries. It's very destructive. So insulin says, hey, you can't park there. Come here with me. Come. Out, the traffic cop. And then he has to find a place to park it. And oftentimes he sends it to the liver. If there's no room, if you don't have enough muscles, sends it to the liver, the Costco parking lot. You like my illustrations? That's the way my head thinks, okay? Anyway, coming back to sugar. So when insulin is doing that, and you pack your blood with sugar, insulin goes crazy. It says you can't park there. Come with me. It sends it into the cells. You know what the problem is with that? The cells get filled up with sugar. There's no room for nutrients. And that's a big problem. Listen, this is a study done years ago, but I was always fascinated by it. You guys know me, so when I talk about vitamin C, the real one is coffee. You guys know that. Okay, you know that. So when you drink a coffee with a meal, you're actually helping to regulate that blood sugar. Okay? And that's one. Okay? You're actually helping to regulate blood sugar. But the other thing, the other vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Okay? Remember that one? I don't talk about that much one. Because for years, even when I was in school, they always said, well, vitamin C, it's so good for you. And I'm not disputing that you need vitamin C. But I always said, like fiber, vitamin C was overrated. Okay? Because moi, was always talking about the importance of the super vitamin D, which is much more important than vitamin C. Now listen, I understand vitamin C. But if everything is working well in your body, you don't even have to worry about vitamin C. I mean that. And look, I like vitamin C for cancer treatment. I do. But taken intravenously, that's how much you need to help with cancer. Okay, so there are studies out there, vitamin C and cancer and reduction in the size of tumors. I like the science, but you have to take it intravenously because you can't just take vitamin C and it's going to kill cancer cells. It doesn't do it that way. You need it in mega doses. Anyway, guys, sugar is an anti-nutrient. You know why? Because when those cells are filled up with sugar, you know what happens? You can't get vitamin C into the cell. Now, let me say this. When you eat a steak, what are you saying, Doc? I mean it. When you eat a steak and you cut out your sugars, you're going to get the right amount of vitamin C that you need. Did you know that? You don't need to supplement with vitamin C. If you're eating eggs, meat, and cheese, people have accused me of that. Say, Doc, well, you're not getting any vitamin C. No, sure you are. You get vitamin C in trace amounts, but that's all you need. If your cells are empty and they're not full of sugar, your cells will take up the vitamin C from a steak. Okay? I mean it. A lot of people don't realize that. Sugar is an anti-nutrient. Okay? So cells are filled up, you don't get vitamin C. Okay? Now, when you drink a coffee, when you have coffee with your meal, you should see the studies on this. When you have coffee with a meal, your cells make more room for insulin to put sugar in your cells. Coffee is metformin. It's like metformin, and I've been preaching that for 25 years or more, consistently. The real vitamin C is coffee because it's much more powerful than vitamin C. Plus, listen, Linda, listen, it has traces, micro traces of vitamin C. You don't need a lot of vitamin C, ascorbic acid. You need some, but you don't need a lot of it. And I'm not telling you not to eat a fruit. If you eat a fruit, yeah, you get vitamin C in it. Do I like that? Yeah, I got no problem with that. I like that. Eat it, don't drink it. Eat it, don't drink it. But sugar is destructive in so many ways because it's an anti-nutrient. It blocks the absorption at the cellular level. Secondly, okay, it changes the pH, especially of your stomach. Your stomach should be more acidic than a lion's stomach. But when you eat sugar, see, lions don't eat sugar. Okay? They eat meat. They'll eat you if they can find you. Okay? Lions don't, you don't give a lion a fruit. because it's not interested in that. And they have a very acidic stomach, and that's to break the meat down. So do you. Unless you're eating a lot of sugar. That changes the pH in your stomach. It rises the pH in your stomach to make your stomach more alkaline. You don't want to be alkaline in your stomach. You want to be acidic in your stomach. And this is why when people change their diet and change fuel and get on the reset, they find digestively they're so much better. Their stomach starts reversing itself and working better because the pH of the stomach becomes more acidic with good food. You and I were designed to eat meat, protein. You can't even get B12 without the intrinsic factor. And that's when you're eating meat. It's in your gut longer. You make more intrinsic factor to take the B12 out of there. Your body knows that. And yet we insist on vegetarianism and veganism as being better for you than meat. How can it be? It can't be. Anyway, sugar is an anti-nutrient. It disrupts the absorption of nutrients because it changes your stomach pH. 1, 2, at the cellular level, it fills up sugar and fills up cells with sugar instead of nutrients and vitamins like vitamin C. There's a third reason. Sugar feeds yeast, the bears, in the gut. Dysbiosis. It feeds the wrong army. That creates problems in the gut. You see, a little wee bit of yeast in your gut, who cares? I mean it, who cares? As long as it doesn't get into your bloodstream. But you don't want to be feeding it with sugar. Because again, it'll become an anti-nutrient. Yeast isn't on your side, guys. In a little bit it is, but not when it expands like bread. You know, you put yeast in bread, what does it do? Whoop, it grows. Right? Well, that's what happens in your stomach, in your bowel. And now you're not absorbing, again, the nutrients that you need. Yeast can be very, very detrimental to absorption. And never mind the problems once it gets into your bloodstream. And it's a carrier of heavy metals. It's a carrier of toxins. Okay? Okay. A little bit of a shortened version today. And should be back in the saddle in my little studio tomorrow. Okay? Lord willing. Okay. Now, guys, again, if I miss you and you say, Dr. Martin, you never say hello to me. Well, I don't mean to because I love you. I can tell you that. We care for you. I care for this audience. You have no idea. Okay? And we appreciate you big time. Friday is what? Q&A. What do you do about Q&A? Well, you send me your questions. Martin Clinic, info@martinclinic.com will get your question to me for answering on Friday. Okay? So send your questions off by email to info@martinclinic.com. It helps us, and then we get your questions aired on our Q&A popular program. Okay? Tell everybody about the doctors, and I know you spread the word. My little disciples, we appreciate that. Thanks for the following. And thank you guys for being good friends of this program. Love you dearly. Talk to you soon.